Okay, again, I say welcome to another episode of John Sports Corner on the Sosofat Media Network. I would like to again say this, that on our social media platform, where we post our programs, sports has really taken up a very dominant role in regards to viewership and also, I would say, into subscriptions. So I'd like to thank all our listeners and ask you to please spread the word that we do have a sports platform in the Caribbean diaspora that at least keep us up to date with what is happening in various sports enterprises across the world. So again, I say, John, welcome to your program, John Sports Corner.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And if it's Wednesday, yes, it's time for John Sports Corner on the Sosofat Media Network. Good afternoon. Welcome. As we say goodbye to September and welcome October, the month of Dan. Let me also remind you, you may go to the Winner's Circle Sports store in the Sosofat shop and get merchandise as listed there. And that includes the great Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee.
Mhm.
Let me start with, as usual, birthdays. You know, yesterday, one of my favorite footballers, soccer players of yesteryear, celebrated a birthday. He's now the president of Liberia, George Weah.
Oh,
And I also had the pleasure of having dinner with him a few years ago. And, he related to us how he met his lovely wife.
okay.
But he was, and that was before he became the president of Liberia.
Mhm.
And it was so easy to speak to. You believe this big soccer superstar sitting down with me, Trevor,
Mhm.
having dinner, and it was really. Yeah, and actually, I met him through Mike Duncan,
Okay.
um, who is actually his brother-in-law, because
Okay.
he's married to Mike Duncan's sister. So, but it was really nice sitting down with George Weah. But he celebrated a birthday yesterday. Also, a former, I guess I have to say, former Jamaica athlete, Christopher Taylor. He celebrated a birthday. And today, um, one of the great Olympians out of Namibia celebrates a birthday in Frankie Fredericks, who
Wow.
won Olympic and World Championship medals for Namibia, and a former great baseball player of yesteryear. He would have celebrated a birthday today in one Maury Wills. Maury, I think, played for the Dodgers, and I think he played on 3 World Series
Yeah.
championship teams. Tomorrow, Alison Swaby, reggae girl, celebrates her birthday. So too, for another former baseball player, Dave Winfield, who played for a while with the Yankees here in New York. He
Yes.
celebrates her birthday tomorrow. And on Sunday, um, many time world champion and Olympic medalist Michael Frater will celebrate a birthday.
Yes.
We also learned of the passing of a couple of our sports stars of yesteryear.
Mhm.
Basketballer Dikembe, not in my house, Motombo,
Yes.
and baseballer Pete Rose.
Yes.
Like Patrick Ewing, Motombo attended Georgetown University and
Mhm.
was drafted in the 4th round by the Denver Nuggets.
Mhm.
Pete Rose, one of the greatest baseball players not in the Hall of Fame because of indiscretions and poor judgment.
Mm.
Despite that, and until today, I haven't seen any baseball player who plays baseball at 100 miles per hour like Pete Rose did.
Never.
A simple, he hits a ball simply maybe going, and it's going to the first baseman, but he would race to first base,
Mhm.
you know. So I think how he played kept the opposing team and players on their toes
Yes,
on the field.
Charlie Hustle.
Charlie Hustle.
Mhm.
And he actually made the All-Star team at 5 positions in
Mhm.
baseball.
Yeah.
And he has played over, I think it's over 500 games at each position
Yes.
in baseball. And, as I say, I enjoyed watching him play, especially in those days when he played for the Big Red Machine.
Yes.
When they won 2 World Series, and he won 1 with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yes.
Uh, I want to say something about a non-sport item before I talk sports, Trevor.
Uh-huh.
Maybe fits nicely into a Sosofat comment.
All right.
So I don't know how many of our listeners have received their car insurance projection recently.
Mhm.
I received mine, and it has increased significantly. At first, I thought my driver safety thing was up or had expired.
Uh-huh.
Not so. According to the agent, there are some state increase or something, Trevor. And in order to get some kind of reduction on that number, one thing I have to do, that they send me my information by email instead of by the US mail.
Well,
The
no,
second thing is to install something called a DriveWise app on my phone that monitors my driving habits. What time I drive, how many times I drive, how often I use my brakes, etc., etc. That means with speed bumps in so many residential areas around the Fibor area now,
yeah.
my braking has increased significantly.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how that will impact my insurance premiums, but
Well,
this is what I am being told, Trevor.
the question is, who did you call?
My insurance guy, when I got my bill to find out
So you got a bill and it went up.
insignificantly
Well, you
over
might
$100 a month.
you might want to find, get a quotation from another insurance company.
Yeah, well, I've thought about that too. Anyway, let's talk sport.
Listen, they're banking on their loyalty, to make their
Yeah,
money. Okay.
yeah.
And so while they're banking on you being loyal to them, they are not
They're not
banking
being
on being
loyal to
loyal
me.
to you.
Yeah.
For example, if you have not had an accident over an extended period of time, your insurance quote should go down
Mm.
because you are now classified like a AAA safe driver. Of course, when you run red lights, it goes up. We know that, right?
Yeah.
When you have accident, it goes up, right?
Hmm.
If your driving record has been spotless for the last 5 or 10 years, shouldn't it be going in the other direction that, you're such a low risk that they can give you a lower rate?
Well, unfortunately, I have to say my driving has not been particularly spotless because I got hit in the back. I would say 2, maybe 3 summers ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking my wife home from school, her job, and I stopped to make a left turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up in my rear view mirror and I said to myself, oh my goodness, where is this space person going? Barreling down into the back of my car.
Okay.
And this is in a zone with a 25 mile an hour
Oh,
um,
and
um, speed limit. Yeah. And their car was significantly damaged. They bonnet, I mean, crumpled the front of the car.
mhm.
But and she was obviously speeding, you know. I mean, as I said, when I looked up in my rear view mirror, I said, "Oh my goodness!" Because I had stopped it,
Yes,
and there were cars coming down on the other side of the street, so I couldn't turn. And the
but
amazing thing, there was enough room on my right side that she could pass.
go around,
So,
could go
you
around
know,
it.
but I think she was just going too fast. Anyway, Trevor, let's talk sports. On Saturday night, members of the former and my former soccer club in Brooklyn, Menelik, got together for a 50th anniversary reunion. The love and fellowship was simply amazing of the former players who turned out. It's just heartening to see players coming from Chicago,
Okay,
Atlanta,
okay,
Florida,
okay.
and um, Texas, as far as Texas, for the
Mm,
function. Yes. And I just have to say a big thank you to one of our former players, to George Blair and his lovely wife, for
mm,
hosting the function,
okay.
and for Rennie and Desi for putting it together. It
Mhm.
was, I mean, I played back in the 70, when I came back here first, 70, 5, 76.
Uh-huh.
I played with that club for a year or so. And
Okay.
but you know, it was really good to see. A matter of fact, we played a final one evening where we got to a final in this competition. And
Uh-huh.
that's when I got my nose broken in that final in the first half and couldn't finish the game.
But you're not using your nose to kick the ball. Well, you have to hit the balls.
Yeah. But an elbow came around,
So
a
you have to
flashing elbow.
pay your dues. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was really great a great fellowship, a great camaraderie,
Yes.
seeing all the guys, you know.
And and it stands to reason that they survived doing it when they say 50 years,
Yeah,
you have to add 50 to when they start playing foot soccer, so they end up, they're like 51 and
yeah,
52 and 53 years old.
yeah. And a lot of them, you know, as I said, it was great to see, especially one of them who came from Texas. I have not seen him, Trevor, in
Mm,
since 70, maybe 77.
okay. Long time.
You know? Yeah,
Whew,
yes.
long time.
And of course, you know, you see I have on my Menelik 50th anniversary shirt here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Very little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um the Paris Olympic gold medalist Julian Alfred of St. Lucia and Roger Stone of Jamaica are among nominees for the Caribbean Sports Personality of the Year.
Mhm.
Julian Alfred's competition will come from Puerto Rico's Jasmine Camacho Quinn, Dominican Republic's Mary Lady Paulino, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' Shafiqua Maloney, and Jamaica's Shanika Ricketts.
Mm.
While Roger Stoner goes up against British Virgin Islander Kyron McMaster, Grenada's Lyndon Victor, Cuba's wrestling legend Majane Lopez Nunez, Trinidad and Tobago's Jereme Richards, and Puerto Rico's Sebastian Rivera. Julian Alfred is also up for another award, the Caribbean Breakthrough Award, which is a category highlighting athletes who have earned their first medal at a continental or international competition.
Well,
The
I
winners,
say Julian Alfred hands down. Hands down.
Well, the winners will be revealed October 19th at the inaugural Cannock Sports Awards in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands.
Okay.
I think she will win hands down, you know. Um, and she has really, how should I put this? Um, pocketed,
Captivated.
pocketed a
Yeah.
lot of financial awards in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yes.
You know, because as you know, there was a 4-day celebration ceremony in St. Lucia for her,
Mhm.
culminating with a big concert at the Darren Sammy cricket ground on Friday.
Okay.
So, but I am so proud of Julian Alfred,
Look,
Trevor,
listen.
for her
I,
achievement.
I think the entire Caribbean, in as much as
Yeah.
other people, succeeded in their category, sports category, but knowing that the Jamaica had been dominating the United States in the 100 and the 200 all for so long, and the Caribbean was behind them 100% because they represented the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that when they looked, they saw that our people were not there. Now, people, therefore, were just open and praying. But at the same time, we never recognized Julian Alfred as a potential. She was running,
No, this year, yes, she was.
you know.
This
Well,
year,
the camp,
she was expected to, at least I expected her to medal. Um, Not necessarily thinking she would win, but I expected her to medal.
yes, but the cameras were not on her. The,
Um,
the
the
camera was on
cameras,
Shakira Richardson. That's the person who was supposed to bring home the gold.
yeah,
Shakira,
and that is not strange, Trevor, because remember, she's not a U.S. athlete.
well, that's why I said the cameras were not on her. So
Um,
listen, when she won, it's the first time I was pronouncing her name in full.
yeah,
Okay, because
yeah,
we're not accustomed to be saying the name Julian
Julian
Alfred.
Alfred.
Okay, so what? So in essence, she rescued the Caribbean
Mm-hmm,
from giving up
mm-hmm.
because, as I said earlier, they had Shakira Richardson on on this magazine, and she was being promoted as the fastest woman in the world. And I'm
Shakari.
saying, and I'm like, and the radio program says, slow down a second now. To be classified as the fastest woman in the world, you have to run against all the fastest women in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to do it at the Olympics. You cannot do it on your home turf, and you never was running with other athletes in peak condition that were in other parts of the world not there. You have to run against the best, beat the best, okay, in order for you to be classified as the fastest woman in the world. So the fact that you run the fastest time did not mean you're the fastest woman in the world because you're running in a limited field. Okay? I mean, if you run against someone, everybody fell down and John came in first, John will be the fastest because he finished the race about ahead of everybody else. I said, but John, Kobe wasn't running against you. Kobe is pretty fast too. So, well, he wasn't here, so I get the gold. So I never, as I said, we never had the attention being paid to Julian Alfred. When I brought it up that Saturday morning on radio, the place went wild. People are calling like,
Mm-hmm.
people are planning to go back home just to celebrate.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, man.
And
There's a big
and Jamaica
celebration.
and I tell you, the feedback from the Jamaicans them in New York, man, they were happy like a lark. They were jumping for joy. Just the
Well,
fact the US was beaten. All they want to know is that the US never got the gold in the 100. Okay.
Yeah, the women's 100.
Women.
And it was, really, and she has followed actually that Olympic gold medalist in the 100. She won the 60-meter indoor world championship earlier in the year, and she has represented well.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, tax break for sports people in Trinidad and Tobago starting in 2025. The Trinidad and Tobago Finance Minister, Paul Imbert, announced the removal of tax and duty on all sporting equipment starting January 2025. The minister also talked about planned upgrading and modernization of sporting facilities, which he said will enhance Trinidad and Tobago as a premier tourism destination.
So sports tourism is it all about now?
Well, sports tourism, and
Yes.
and that's why I think the criticisms here coming out of our country,
Of
Jamaica.
course.
They're not tying in. They
No.
understand how important sports is. Are the
No.
the dollars behind sports?
It's grudgeful, them grudgeful, man. They don't want to see the athletes come back and get in $50 million contract, you know. I mean, you see, the grudgefulness, is there. Otherwise, it's just grudgeful, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, Britain's 400-meter Paris Olympic silver medalist Matthew Hudson Smith tied the knot over the weekend by marrying his girlfriend, Antonia Tyson. And the guest list, certainly a who is who in track and field, that included the Paris Olympics men's 100-meter gold medalist Noah Lyles and his Jamaican girlfriend Jonelle Brumfield, Dina Asher-Smith, Adam Gemelli, and Katarina Johnson-Thompson. You may recall Hudson Smith celebrating his silver medal at the Olympic Games, parading with both a British and Jamaican flag. And at the time, he said the Jamaican flag was for his grandmothers in Jamaica, whom he hadn't seen for a while. We understand, Trevor, that Rashid Broadbell, Olympic medalist at the Paris Olympic medalist in the 110 hurdles, has left Elite Performance Track Club and is headed for MVP. We also understand that Shelley Fraser Price, who has not retired from track and field, has also left the club, but we're not sure where she is headed.
Okay.
And rumor has it that Elaine Thompson-Herah is also departing the club, but that is to be confirmed. So we don't know what is happening with the coach there, Ronaldo Walcott, but I suppose in the next few days or a couple of weeks, we will hear more about what's going on there.
Well, it's possible that these women might decide to form their own club.
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, the complaints coming out of the last Paris Olympics, leave a lot to be desired. And sometimes you have to wonder if politics have infiltrated the sports in Jamaica.
Well,
okay.
I guess politics is in everything,
Okay.
Depends on what side of the fence you're on.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
just an observation.
Yeah. In the world of cricket, the 43rd Cricket Hall of Fame induction ceremony this Saturday at the Sheraton Hotel in Hartford. One of the inductees will be former Jamaica Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller for her role in getting Christopher Henry Gale back in the West Indies cricket team a few years ago.
Yeah.
Her induction is actually scheduled to take place October 22nd in Jamaica.
Okay.
As we understand, she is unable to travel.
Okay.
Other inductees include Dennis Heath, Leon Francis, Naeem Khalid, Grace Carrington, while Pauline Davis to receive the Presidential Award, and a Cricket Hall of Famer, Roy Reid, OD, which it means Order of Distinction, to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay.
Guyanese-born Linford Inverary has been named Cricket West Indies' new Chief Operating Officer and will also serve as Interim Chief Executive Officer until the post is filled in 2025. While his role as Chief Operating Officer will take effect immediately, his role as Acting Chief Executive Officer will commence November 1st following the departure of Johnny Grave. Bangladesh and Scotland women get the ICC Women's T20 World Cup going tomorrow in Sharjah, while West Indies women begin action on Friday against South Africa in Dubai. Again, West Indies women's squad is Hayley Matthews, captain, Shemaine Campbell, vice captain, Chanel Henry, Shedian Nation, Deandra Dotting, Mandy Mangru, Ashmini Munisar, Stephanie Taylor, Zeta James, Alia Aline, Shamilia Connell, Afi Fletcher, Kiana Joseph, Karishma Ramharak, and Nerissa Crafton. Windies women actually lost their opening warm-up game on Sunday against India by 20 runs in Dubai, and well, neither Stephanie Taylor nor Deandra Dotting played in that game. Then yesterday they lost to Australia by 35 runs, and Deandra Dotting did play, but Stephanie Taylor missed her second game, so we don't know if she has some kind of injury. But as I said, West Indies women begin their title chase on Friday against South Africa.
Mhm.
And I'm going to put my head on the block right here, Trevor.
Okay.
I believe if we get batting from our ladies down the order that can support the captain Hayley Matthews, they will do some damage during this World Cup tournament.
Okay. So, so their weakness has always been batting.
Well, it has basically been dependent on Hayley Matthews and Stephanie Taylor,
Okay.
who basically has carried the batting. Deandra Dotting is back in the team. She had retired from international cricket a couple of years ago, but she has returned to the team, and hopefully her return will help to bolster the middle order of our batting. But we have some ladies there. If they step up to the plate, Trevor, they don't have to be scoring 50s and 100s.
Right.
But if they can get a 30 and a 40 down in the bottom order,
That's up.
with Hayley Matthews getting her runs and Stephanie Taylor,
Mm.
I think the batting will help the ladies to get far in this tournament.
Okay. Well, we'll keep
Now,
our
let me
fingers
just
crossed on that one.
let me just back up a little. I was talking about the Cricket Hall of Fame induction ceremony this Saturday.
Yes.
I failed to mention that there will be a cricket game on the Saturday. I guess Saturday, I think it's 11 o'clock is the start of the game. And before the Hall of Fame function,
Uh-huh.
to kind of help to promote the Cricket Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
And the game will be streamed on MAC TV, that's MAQTV.com. So
TV.
MAQ, MAC
Okay.
Cricket, the Caribbean Premier League playoffs begin tonight in Providence with qualifier one between the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the St. Lucia Kings.
Mm,
On Friday will be the second qualifier with the Barbados Royals awaiting the result of qualifier one.
mm,
Josh Butler will skipper England in the white ball series against West Indies in the Caribbean starting later this month. The three-game one-day international series bowls off October 31st in Antigua and Barbuda, while the five-game T20 series begins in Barbados November 9th. And India closed out their two-game series against Bangladesh by winning the second test by 7 wickets in Kanpur. Bangladesh 233 and 146. India 285 for 9 declared and 95 for 3. In the world of football, soccer, Jamaica schoolboy games back in full swing after Saturday's Manning and Acosta Cup games were called off as referees refused to work in protest against incidents in the Costa Cup games last couple of weeks. The Dintil McGrath game in which a player or players assaulted the referee following the final whistle, and the Malden against Cornwall game the previous weekend, where an assistant referee was allegedly hit by a missile thrown from a group of spectators.
mm, mm.
Anyway, games resumed on Monday. I'm going to run through a lot of scores in the Costa Cup. Cornwall 2-1 over Malden. St. James High School 4-1 over Herbert Morrison. Spot Valley 6-1 over Mushet. William Nib 4-0 over Discovery Bay. York Castle and Fern Court in a 1-1 stalemate. Irwin and Green Pond also in a 1-1 stalemate. And Little London 4-1 over Godfrey Stewart. St. Elizabeth Technical 4-1 over Magotty. Monroe and Lacovia in a 1-1 stalemate. BB Coke 4-0 over Newell. The Carteret and Mount St. Joseph in a 2-2 stalemate. Manchester 3-0 over Mayday. Christiana 3-1 over Homewood. Knox 1-0 over Mile Gully. Glenmuir 7-0 over Vertec. Rossies 5-1 over Anchovy. Belfield 9-0 over Alston. Kemps Hill 5-0 over Winston Jones. While in Manning Cup, Mona held to a draw for the first time in the competition. Mona, of course, are the defending Manning Cup champions, held by Jonathan Grant at 1 apiece. Kingston College 7-0 over Penwood. Campion 4-0 over Cumberland. St. Catherine over Holy Trinity 4-1. Waterford and Charlie Smith in a 1-1 stalemate. Jose Marti 4-0 over Meadowbrook. Woolmer's boys, that is, 5-1 over Denham Town. And Camperdown 6-3 over Kingston Technical High School.
Mm.
In Jamaica Premier League action, Cavalier defeated Waterhouse 2-0. Harbour View playing for the first time back at the compound, which is the Harbour View Stadium, 2-1 over Malines United. Vere and Humble Lion in a 1-1 stalemate. Portmore 2-1 over Tivoli, while Montego Bay United 1-0 over Chapelton. And folks, Bijan Thomas has been named the coach of Dunby Holding. He previously coached Chapelton Maroons. Trinidad and Tobago's caretaker head football coach, Derek King, has assembled a group of home-based players to kickstart preparations for Nations League games against Cuba in Santiago on October 10th and back at the Dwight York Stadium October 14th. Coach King says his immediate focus will be on strength and conditioning before switching to outfield work. The coach says he wants to make sure that each player is both physically and mentally prepared to compete at the highest level. And why I find this kind of interesting when he says about the strength and condition, and Trevor, I remember playing back in my days with the Cavalier Football Club in Jamaica. Any time we didn't play well, you see the first evening back at practice, or maybe the first and second evening,
Laps, man, laps.
there was no ball work.
Laps, man, laps.
The coach would run us and exercise us to death.
You go run laps around the field.
And then we also had a physical trainer part of a club member, David Bernard Sr., who actually spent time with the JDF before he came to Cavalier, and he was into physical training.
Yeah.
And sometimes when coach would turn over the physical, the warm up to David, I have to say to David,
easy.
I need to get home, But yeah, man, but David Bernard Sr., that is, has worked a lot with sports teams, both cricket and soccer teams in Jamaica, and the physical getting the players ready for action.
Yes, man, that's important.
Yeah. Anyway, Trevor, France, 2018 World Cup winner Antoine Griezmann has announced his retirement from international football. He made his France debut in 2014 and won 137 caps for France.
Wow.
After a 10-year run, Griezmann says it's time to turn things over to the new generation.
Yes. And they have a lot of new prospects there, man.
Didn't we hear President Biden talking about turning to the new generation? With Kamala?
Yes.
Anyway, UEFA Champions League action. Arsenal 2-0 over Paris Saint-Germain. Barcelona 5-0 over Young Boys. Bayer Leverkusen 1-0 over AC Milan. Borussia Dortmund 7-1 over Celtic. Inter Milan 4-0 over Red Star Brigade. Manchester City 4-0 over Slovan Bratislava. In English Premiership on the weekend, not on the weekend, on Monday actually, the final game for the past weekend of football, English Premiership, Bournemouth 3-1 over Southampton. And a lot of us who watch European football, English Premiership football particularly, question referee decisions from week to week during the season, because we feel that some of the referee decisions maybe need more thought before they blow that whistle or issue a card. Yeah. On Sunday, Bruno Fernandes was red carded in the Manchester United game against Tottenham. And many of us thought the infringement did not warrant a red card. Well, United appealed the decision and the red card was overturned.
Wow.
If the red card stood, Bruno Fernandes would have missed 3 English Premiership games against Aston Villa, Brentford, and West Ham. He was going into a tackle and slipped. And it was obvious that he slipped. And in falling, his foot brushed the opposing player's leg. And of course, when that happens, the opposing player are going to roll over. They're looking for the foul. Yes, but it was obvious that he slipped.
Yeah.
And
But
sometimes one wonders, if referees don't use their discretion or in making certain calls.
Well, sometimes they miss the play. They only see the aftermath.
I don't know that they miss the play.
I mean, for it to be so
Sometimes the
noticeable,
first, and maybe in a case like that, now that they have the,
VAR,
yeah,
you go
that
to
what you
VAR.
probably go is go to the VAR and look at it again. You know,
Yes,
or as your VR, you have the VR can set you know, that's not a red card, and pull back the red. If you didn't give him the yellow card, then
right.
you know.
But you can bet that the VAR factored into the um cancellation of the red card by,
Well, as they look at the VR, he can say, "Well, no, that should not
intentional.
be a red card,"
It was not
and pull
intentional, it was an accident.
and pull it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but
Um.
that might cause people to have a little bit more respect for the VAR, because that time the VAR, they're mad at the VAR because, it says it's a penalty when it was not blown as a penalty.
I think a lot of people more mad with this VR though, with the
Yes,
offside rule.
yes, oh yes.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
offside rule.
you only need to be 6 inches offside to be offside.
Yeah, yeah, a
Off,
toenail,
yeah, well, listen,
a
remember
toenail.
in the 100 meter in the Paris Olympics, it was the shoulder that won, not the feet. So even the feet crossed the line first, but the shoulder got over the
Yeah,
shoulder.
but that's a rule. That is a tosser. you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Trevor, former Cameroon great, now Cameroon Football Association president Samuel Eto'o
Mm.
has drawn a 6-month ban from FIFA from attending any Cameroon national games. He faced 2 charges from an incident at the Under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia last month.
Oh my.
FIFA did not specify details of what happened at a round of 16 games that Brazil won 3-1. FIFA said Ito was adjudged to have broken disciplinary rules relating to offensive behavior and violations of the principles of fair play
Mm.
and misconduct of
Okay.
officials.
That leaves you to read so much into this that they might as well come out and tell you exactly what happened. Yeah.
Anyway,
Because
Ito has played.
the imagination have no borders.
Samuel Ito has played for Cameroon at 4 World Cups from 1998 to 2014 and on 2 Cameroon African Nation Cup title winning teams in 2000 and 2002. And finally, Trevor, Senegal has parted company with coach Aliou Cisse after
Wow.
9.5 years in charge of the Teranga Lions.
Mm.
He guided the Lions to their first continental title, winning the delayed 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in 2022.
Mm.
While his contract ended in August, he remained in charge of 2 Senegal games in 2024, a 1-1 draw against Burkina Faso and a 1-goal-to-0 win over Burundi. Apparently, the Senegal Federation wanted to renew Cisse's deal, but the sports minister made the decision to end the relationship. And it's the government that pays the coach.
Okay, so politics again, huh? Hmm.
And you want to hear why Cisse has gone? Allegedly, for failure to achieve objectives assigned in November 2022, namely reaching the quarterfinals of the 2022 World Cup and winning the 2023 African Cup of Nations title.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know why the coach would sign off on conditions like that, Trevor, because one thing I have learned over the years in sports,
The-
especially in a tournament or championships, no matter how good a team may be, things happen. that
Mhm.
you have no control over. And sometimes these things adversely impact your team.
Well, they must have offered him something extra to accept a contract like that.
Well, maybe, you know, but so I guess Cameroon will be looking for a new coach now. But that's where I draw stumps on John Sports Corner on Sosofat Media Network for this Wednesday afternoon. Remember to go to the Winner's Circle store in the Sosofat shop and pick up merchandise of your choice as well as a great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. Folks, enjoy the rest of this week.
Yes. So again, John, thank you and congratulations on behalf of our community, because we are now in double digits in our program archive. And so we know that, again, based on the results we're getting, that you're picking up followers every week. So our listeners out there, please spread the word. Make sure that it is well known that we have a regular sports update in our Caribbean diaspora. Okay? Not a team update, but sports update in our diaspora. Again, we thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to your being our guest again next week. Thank you so much. And again,
Thank
John,
you, sir.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.